If you're a busy mom and you constantly feel like you do not have time to move your body, pray, journal, plan for your day, or just sit in silence, this episode is going to be for you, because I used to be where you are now. I used to complain that I'm too busy, I don't have time to myself, I'm exhausted, and then one thing changed when I took a look at my data. Does not lie. I looked at my screen time, I saw that I was spending over 6 to 8 hours on my phone, and to be particular on social media. That's when I realized that I had to make a change. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. If you're new here, my name is Chelsea. I'm a mom of 3 toddlers and a wife. I work a 9 to 5 job, and on this channel we talk about all things faith, building an intimate relationship with Christ, thriving as a woman in general, losing weight, being healthy overall. Today, I'm going to show you guys how I stopped doom scrolling and how I created my 12 p.m. How that one change completely transformed my spirituality and my productivity overall. And if you stay to the end of this video, I'm also going to give you guys a quick 7-day challenge that you can start immediately. Let's be honest. How many times have we said, I do not have time to pray? I do not have time to be spending with my kids. I don't have time to build relationships. I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time to start hobbies. How many times have we said that? But we realize that we spend so much time on our phones, right? You spend 6 to 8 hours on social media watching other people's lives, but you do not have time to create the life that you want to live. You do not have time to create the life that God has meant for you. Somehow we always have time to scroll, because scrolling does not feel, it doesn't take so much energy for us to scroll. It's very easy. The phone is here, you just pick it up, you start watching all these videos. It is very accessible for us to go on social media and just scroll, watch people's lives. We feel bored, we go watch a video. We feel like we need to be connected to people, we go watch a video. We feel depressed or anxious, we go watch a video. Most of us are thinking that we're resting when we're watching a video, right, or on social media. We see it as our rest time. No wonder we have a generation of people that are always anxious. No wonder we have a generation of people that are depressed. No wonder we have a lonely generation where people do not make out time to connect with one another because we're always on social media. Social media is isolating, right? When you're doom scrolling, you're always doom scrolling alone. You don't need to be with people. Start forming these relationships online when there are relationships in person that you can actually build. It takes away the connection that we as humans used to have, and it just takes it away. There are so many people that have built relationships online, but for them to form a better bond, they had to take that relationship online to the physical part. There was just something about physically connecting. No matter how we try to make this connection that we get with people online, we can never have the real connection till you meet with them physically. I used to always think that when I'm watching a social media or when I'm just binge watching Netflix movies, I'm actually resting. But you are not resting when you're doing that. Let's call it for what it is. If you want entertainment, if you're bored, if you want to learn something, then you can go to social media, you can learn things. There are so many entertaining channels out there. Call it for what it is. Take that time as your entertainment time, take it as your learning time, and go learn. If you want to learn, get a pen and paper. When you're watching the video, then you're taking down notes, and then make sure that you follow up on those notes and actually put action to those notes that you took. If it's for entertainment, make sure that's your entertainment period and you focus on one thing. If you're watching your phone, then you focus on your phone. If you're watching a movie, then you focus on the movie alone and stop scrolling back and forth and switching between YouTube and Instagram. How are you going to be watching a video on YouTube and then you're on Instagram at the same time and then you're texting at the same time? That your brain just keeps switching back and forth. Your brain cannot focus. And if you think whenever you're on social media, you're resting, why is it you get mentally exhausted after watching the video? Well, whenever you're watching these videos, you're processing that information. Your brain is doing a lot of work. You do not know it, but your brain is actually doing a lot of work. That's why after watching a lot of videos, especially when you switch the videos back and forth, most times when we go to social media, we would not watch the same videos. When you're scrolling on TikTok, you're watching random videos, fitness, food, all these videos, and you keep switching back and forth, and your brain gets confused, and your brain is trying to process all this information, trying to see if you're going to need the information or not, and your brain gets exhausted. No wonder after watching all these movies, you're tired. No wonder after watching all these podcasts, all these YouTube videos, you're exhausted at the end of the day. The reason why we cannot really stop doom scrolling is because, let me just tell you, so big companies that found a way to be able to engineer our thinking. They know how human beings react. They know how we work. They have created these apps to the T in a way that whenever you open these apps, you just want to keep scrolling. Your willpower is not enough anymore. It's not enough. And it's time for us to start treating these phones for what it is. Treat your phones for what it is. It is a tool, and we have to learn how to have a healthy relationship with that tool. There are so many positive benefits to phones. I personally cannot do without my phone. I'm a content creator, so I have to make videos for you guys to learn and for you guys to watch. I need to communicate with my families that are not living beside me. I need reminder apps, calendar. There are so many benefits to the phone. That's how my kids' school can reach me. So I really need to be on my phone. Most of the times I need to be on my phone at all times, or maybe within reach. Not necessarily beside me, but it should be within reach, because my phone is like, your phone is almost like a computer nowadays. There's everything in there. People use it to make income, and it's a way that stay-at-home moms can actually be at home with their family and still be making income. That's my best part of the phones. There are so many downsides to the phone in the way that a lot of people are wasting their time on social media. They're procrastinating. You start watching all these productivity videos that used to be me, and it feels like you're actually taking action, but you're just in this cycle of just consuming information, because all the information that you consume, you never put it into practice. You watch all these things and it actually gives you that dopamine hit. You're making progress, but you're not doing the action, then you're not making progress. If you want to get a job and you learn how to get a job, but you don't actually apply to get a job, you're not making progress, because you're not going to get the job. If you want to learn how to lose weight and you learn all these recipes, you learn all these exercises, and you don't actually exercise, you do not cook the meal and eat it, then you're not going to lose weight. If you want to pray, if you want to build an intimate relationship with Jesus Christ, you learn all this. You download the Bible app, you learn how to study the Bible, you learn how to pray. And if you don't actually pray, you don't actually read your Bible, then you're not building an intimate relationship with God. We are confusing getting all this information to actually doing the work. We're actually in a time where there's overload or overconsumption of digital information, because it's very accessible. What are we going to do about it? That's when I came up with my 12 p.m. no social media rule. When I took account of what was actually wasting me time, why was I not achieving the goals that I wanted to achieve? Why was I not moving that needle forward in my career or in my life? Why was I feeling this sense of emptiness? Why was I feeling like I wasn't doing enough, even though I've done enough? Because social media brings a lot of comparison. When you wake up in the morning, you start watching other people's lives, you start comparing your life with others, you start feeling like you're not doing enough, even though you're doing enough. But it's because you're comparing with people's lives. You don't know where they were before. The only person that you're supposed to compare with is before. Who you were yesterday, who you were 2 days ago, or a week ago, or a month ago, or a year ago. That's who you're supposed to compare with. And I came up with my 12 p.m. no social media rule. It's where before 12 p.m. I don't go on social media. I don't go to YouTube. I don't go to Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. I recently added ChatGPT to the social media. I don't go on none of that apps. And I actually started this last year, and this has really transformed my life. It's transformed my mornings. Now I wake up in the mornings in a non-reactive mode. Now I'm actually able to do half of my to-do list before noon. When I wake up in the morning, I used to always say I don't have time to pray. Now I wake up in the morning, I'm able to sit down, read my Bible. I'm actually able to go to the gym and exercise, do my self-care in the morning. I try to walk in silence just so that I can think. Sometimes I take that period to call my friends and my family. Sometimes I just pray in the car, but I have this clarity and I'm not living in a reactive mode. I'm actually excited for the day. One, because I've mostly checked off nearly all my important things on my to-do list. Two, I can go to work and I have this focused work block. Then at 12 p.m. when I'm having my lunch, then I can reward myself for watching a good podcast video. I'm not telling you that you should actually have this 12 p.m. no social media rule, but you can try it and tell me how it's going to feel. It's definitely going to change your life. If you enjoy watching this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button, make sure to join the family, and let's build this community together. Before creating this 12 p.m. no social media rule, I tried a lot of things. I tried to put my phone out of my room. I tried to use my willpower not to go on social media. I tried a lot of things, but I realized whenever I open these apps, I go in there for something, I'm like, oh, let me just go check one thing, and then by the time I realize 2 hours have passed and I don't have time for my morning routine. I'm rushing to go to work, or I did not exercise. Now I feel bad because I did not exercise, and then I'm sad. I feel like I cannot do better for myself, because confidence comes with doing the action, not by knowing the action, but doing the action. The more you exercise, the more you eat good food, the more you prove to yourself that you can do the work, the more you become better at your career or your job, the more you prove to yourself that you're good at this thing. It actually comes from putting in action. And what was actually stopping me from putting in those action was my phone. This phone was the one holding me back from actually moving towards these goals. Once I felt that I had no social media at 12 p.m, everything started changing for me. I started having a morning where I can actually be peaceful and rested and show up as the best version of myself, show up as a good mom, good co-worker, good wife, and just show up as a good human in general. I had to realize that using my phone was not active rest. If I wanted to rest, then I could sit and read like a fictional book, maybe just sit outside and just look at nature, go on a walk without my phone. That's my favorite thing to do now, just going on a 1 hour walk without my phones and just having those thoughts. We are scared of our thoughts. I don't know why. I don't know why you're hiding away from your thoughts. I don't know why you're running away from your thoughts, but you need to face those thoughts. When those thoughts come in, get a pen and a paper, start writing. Why are you feeling the way you're feeling? What do you think you need to change? How do you think you need to get better? The best way we can get creative is when we are in silence, when we are bored. You want to have a relationship with God, but the only way that He can speak to you is when you're silent. That's why God mostly speaks to us in our dreams, because that's the only way most of us in these generations have nothing coming in. Because from the time you wake up to the time you sleep, there is some sort of noise coming in, especially if you're a busy mom. Whenever you're home, your kids are always making noise, and the only time that you can get quiet is probably when the kids are sleeping, and then you decide to fill that time with more noise, with watching other videos. I'm not saying do not watch videos, I'm just saying that watch the videos with intention. And when you actually watch the videos, make sure you take action. Don't be wasting your time watching these videos if you are not living your life. Watch the videos, but also live your life. There are so many hobbies that you can learn. Think about the things that you used to enjoy as a kid. For me, I used to love drawing, and I actually went back to drawing, and it was so fun. I actually thought I'd forgotten how to draw, but it was so fun that I could actually remember how to draw. There were so many things that I wanted to do as when I was a kid. I always thought I was going to be an author and write a book. I started my blog. You can check it in my description. And it was so exciting that the things that we wanted to do as kids, we still want to do those things. We still want to achieve those things. But the only thing holding us back is the phone. And I don't want you to be left behind. Moms, I do not want you to be left behind. I want us to build kids who are very resilient. Kids who are not dependent on their phones. Because in the next 10 to 20 years, it's going to be a very massive change. I don't know how these kids are going to cope. But if us now and even our older generations are addicted to their phones, like when I'm walking around, I just see everybody's on their phone. Someone has an earpiece in their ear. Nobody can go to the gym and exercise anymore without listening to some information. I don't know. We've always been told that we need to get information all the time. If you're not listening to something, then you're wasting time or you're not being productive enough. If you're taking a walk and you're not listening to something, you're not being productive. If you're taking a shower, you're not listening to a podcast or listening to music, you're not being productive. People don't have to keep listening to something every second of the day. That is so much information. No wonder your brain has been rewired. But it's not too late. We can reclaim it back. We can reclaim our life back. We can reclaim our energy back, and we can reset that dopamine. Whenever you watch a video, you're watching these videos, whenever you go to YouTube or maybe you're watching a Netflix movie, you get this dopamine high. You're excited for the video. When you're watching the video, you're excited. And then when the movie stops, boom, there's this dopamine drop. And you just start feeling down. And then you want the dopamine high again. Put another video to get that dopamine high. That's how the cycle continues, and you just want to keep watching more videos and you don't stop. At the end of this day, obviously, as I earlier said, watching videos is mentally draining because you're taking in that information. You're exhausted. You watched more, you thought you could stop, you continued watching, and then at the end of the day, you feel guilty because you did not do anything that you put on your to-do list, and then you're exhausted on top of that. Is that the life you want to live? See, I'm not trying to judge you yet, but that is something that I really had to take accountability for. I had to look at the life that I wanted for my kids, and I was like, this is not the life I want my kids to live fully in their purpose. I want them to achieve their dreams. I want them to focus on their talents, on their dreams, and things that are going to make them live a happy life, not just quick dopamine, not just things that they think is going to make them happy at the moment without thinking about the future. Because trust me, watching all these videos is not going to move the needle if you don't take action towards them. But luckily, there are steps that we can do to help us avoid doom scrolling. And one is, first of all, take out the social media apps, remove them from your home page, hide them in a folder in your phone. If possible, delete the social media apps. I don't really advocate much for deleting the apps, because as I said, if you're a content creator, you actually use the apps, then you need the apps on your phone. If it's something that you don't use consistently, then deleting the apps will be better. If you want to watch a video, you have to take manual effort to go to Google, search for the link, and put in the video that you want to watch. It's going to make it to be more intentional, because our For You page has a bunch of things in there that YouTube has recommended to you, and sometimes you don't even know what to watch. You just come in there and YouTube has recommended all these options, and then you just have binge watching. But you go through Google and put in the link, you actually have to pick the video that you want to watch, and just that extra step to go to Google before you watch a video can be something. And with no extra steps, most times it's going to stop you from scrolling. If you really feel like you're addicted to social media, then delete the apps. I've done that before. I think that was 2 years ago when I decided to delete all the apps. But the one mistake that I made was that I did not replace it with something else. When I deleted all these apps from social media, I was bored. I was not anticipating the amount of boredom that I was going to face. I was bored. I did not know what to do the whole day. I ate, exercised, and did everything by 12 p.m. I was like, what next? I did not know what to do. I needed some sort of dopamine because my brain was not used to it. What did I do? I replaced it with Netflix movies. I started watching all these Netflix shows and Netflix movies, and I just realized I've just taken out social media from my phone, and then I've replaced it with watching all these Netflix shows. You have to replace it with something better. So me, the reason why I'm able to not go on social media till 12 p.m. at noon is because I replaced it with something. Imagine that I had no morning routine. Then I was not going to not go to social media till 12 p.m. What I did was I replaced my morning routine with reading my Bible, with exercising, with just doing my self-care, and with actually walking, something that can move my needle forward towards my goals. You say you don't want to watch social media from a certain time. For me, in the evenings, I'm actually trying to build this. I started trying it last week, and so it's been successful. I don't want to use my phone after 9 p.m. and I'm actually taking the extra step to put my phone out of my room. Put an alarm on my phone at 6 a.m. and then put my phone downstairs. That way, when I go to my room and I'm on my bed, even if I'm feeling as to pick up my phone, there is no phone to pick up. Then I have to wake up at 6 a.m. whether I like it or not to go turn off that alarm downstairs, else it's going to annoy me. That is the extra step that I do. So you can do that extra step, you can go the extra mile, but I'm telling you, yeah, the Bible says the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent taken in by force. Sometimes you have to be violent with this phone. Take your phones, put it in another room, put it in the bathroom, put it downstairs. Take that extra step to create discomfort. The thing now is that there's a lot of comfort. You want a meal, just get Uber Eats. You want something, it's very easily accessible. You want to order something, you just order through Amazon and it's going to be dropped in front of your house. That's why a lot of people are addicted to shopping. That's why a lot of people are addicted to junk food, because of how accessible it is. James Clear says if you want to make your habits very difficult, don't make it easily accessible. Simple. If you want to start creating a new habit, make it easily accessible. You want to quit a habit, make it not easily accessible. Take the phone away. Do not have the phone with you at every time. You don't really have to have this phone with you at every second of the day. It can be in the kitchen. If you want to work in the office, the phone can be in the kitchen, the phone can be in the bedroom. Take it out of the space that you are in. The next important thing that I did was to turn off my notifications. See, I think I did this one 2 or 3 years ago, and that's a game changer. I'm never going to turn this notification on. You don't have to know when John posted an Instagram story, or you don't have to know when Kyle posted a Facebook reel. You do not have to know that. How is that going to help your life? How is that important for you to know exactly when it dropped? Granted, if you have favorite people that you're really following up with their lives, you really want to know, you can probably set that notification just for those people, but you do not have to have all these notifications on your phone. You can actually go into the settings and turn off all your notifications. I don't have any notifications on. Even my WhatsApp, I do not have notifications on. If it's important, you're going to call me. Turn off those notifications. Turn it off. Pause this video and turn off your notifications. I'm not kidding. Turn off those notifications. Did you turn off those notifications? The next thing you're going to do is to buy a physical planner. I know we live in the digital age. I'm not saying that dish your Notion or dish your calendar or anything like that, but also have a physical planner. There is just something about the old school way about writing down something. Whenever you write down something, print it in your memory. I have a planner, and sometimes I don't even have to open the planner for a whole week, but I know what I put in my planner that I was going to do on each day. I already know them, and I like to plan my week in advance. I like to plan my weeks on Sundays, because when I don't plan my weeks or plan my months, I just do whatever. I go by emotions. I go by how I feel. I wake up this morning, I'm like, I don't feel like exercising today. I don't exercise. I don't feel like editing my videos today. I don't edit the videos. If I had to go by emotions, I was not going to be filming this video for you guys today. But that was in my planner. I was going to film this video. That's why I'm filming this video. And that was because I put it in my planner and I made time for it. I said a convenient time that I was going to do it when my kids are sleeping, and then yeah, I'm doing it even though one of my kids is outside in front of my door and he's not sleeping. But we're going to complete this video. I'm focused. We get a physical planner. I swear by this planner, and this is the Clever Fox planner. I don't know if you can see it. It's not sponsored though, but the planner is good. I got one last year. I got the black one last year. This year I decided to get the blue color, and it's good. It helps me to set goals. It just helps me keep me aligned. And I actually set my goals on Sunday. I just set everything that I want to do throughout the day. I have my habit tracker and the things that I want to do, the top priorities and things like that. It makes me, when I'm waking up, I don't have to keep making those decisions. I feel like a lot of times I was very stuck with making a lot of decisions, and I had decision fatigue of what am I going to do today, what am I going to cook, what are the kids going to eat, when am I going to exercise, which exercise am I going to do. Now I just follow like fitness plan. I just have like days that I'm going to clean my house. So if it's dirty, it's not dirty. I know that I'm going to clean it tomorrow, so I'm not stressed about it. Failing to plan is planning to fail. If you do not plan your day, you do not make it a priority, and it's definitely not going to happen. If there's something that you want to do sadly, you want to be consistent in the gym and exercising, then you have to plan it. Then you're going to make it a priority. We always feel like we're too busy, but the thing is that we're not making things priorities. If you prioritize something, then it's going to get done. Then you're going to create time for it. I like to plan my days, and I feel like it's helped me tremendously with the many things that I have to do, and just with me prioritizing my tasks and looking at where I can actually outsource my time or outsource things that I don't enjoy. That's what I've been doing. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to make this video to condemn you. It's just something that I've gone through, and I've made some decisions that have helped me to have a better life. I feel better when I've been doing this, so I just want to share it with you guys. It's just to get a physical planner, replace doom scrolling or social media with something else. Remove social media from your phone, or just move the apps to like a folder not on your home screen, and turn off non-essential notifications, and have a morning routine that is going to set you up for the day. Since implementing these, I've realized that I feel calmer, less anxious. I just feel more in control of my life. Actually, driving with no phone has actually been, I don't know, it's been healing in a certain way. Staying in silence is very uncomfortable at first. When you try it, you have all these thoughts popping in. Trust me, you have like a lot of random thoughts, but all the things that you actually forgot, they're going to pop up. It is not just calming, but it's healing. And now I no longer feel like life is just happening to me. I feel like I'm building an intentional life. I just want to encourage you, if you're a busy mom, whatever season you are in life, take an audit of your screen time and see how much time you're spending on your screen, and actually see what you can do with that time if you were not spending much time on social media. If you're a busy mom watching this, I just want to tell you something. You're not lazy, you're not undisciplined, you're managing your home, your work, your career, your friendships. Honestly, you're overstimulated. And taking time for yourself or managing your time, it's not being selfish. It is stewardship. When you're spiritually grounded, physically and mentally energized, everyone around you benefits. Your kid benefits, your marriage benefits, and your career benefits. It starts with something as small as not picking up your phone in the morning and setting healthy boundaries with your phone. Here is my challenge to you. For the next 7 days, no social media before 12 p.m. Choose discipline over dopamine. Choose your mornings. Choose your peace. And just see how you feel. If you're going to try this, comment 12 p.m. rule. Let me see who's going to be this with me. If you're serious about going spiritually, building discipline, and just building a peaceful life as a busy mom, make sure to hit the subscribe button and join the community. And I'm going to see you guys in the next episode. Bye.